Welcome to the Finding Mojo podcast. Watch and listen to conversations about humble beginnings, struggles, and victories.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm where I am right now, because I'm kind of stubborn. So no, I gotta do this.
Character development really did start when I cosplayed. You bump into troubles when you're younger, and then you realize, oh, I did wrong.
Featuring a healthy melange of guests from different walks of life.
We're trying to find ourselves. We're trying to land our feet on the ground and be part of society. Who are we in society? How can we be useful?
When it comes to youth, I don't know, if you're like 18 years old or 21, 22 years old, just go love a person, love what you do. When you get hurt, just accept it. It's all part of growing up.
Be inspired, get creative, and find your own mojo. The Finding Mojo podcast, powered by BSA Solutions, the place where bright minds meet. A certified great place to work.
First, that's very dangerous.
Yes, very.
A lot of Filipino really don't know that once you share something, any related videos and pictures online, it will automatically be a triggering factor for someone, because you can get depression in three ways. It's either biological, so it means you get that mental illness from it's genetic. No, you get that mental disorder it's either from your father's side or from your mother's side. But it doesn't automatically come out. Like, not all who has, let's say, kanilang genetic will magka-depression dayon. They need a trigger, or we call it in psychology as a precipitating factor. They need a key for you to, like, para ma-open siya. And maybe perhaps worst case scenario, resorted to self-harm or even suicide. So
Personally, I think like the cases of suicide here, the uptick is there because, like you said, if you see someone do it on socials, if you see that it's actually possible, if you see that someone does it, they're gonna follow suit.
yes,
And they say like, okay, so it's accessible. Also, okay, so I can do it from there.
Yeah.
And then they plan. The problem now escalates all because
Yeah.
they see the visual,
yeah.
which is really
And-
sad.
And even we're trying also to educate the media. Let's try to avoid first sharing the videos and pictures. So if you actually witness any suicide related cases, try to control the situation by allowing control the crowd as much as possible. Wala kay makakita.
Yeah.
Because again, because of the precipitating factors. Second, even actually describing, you can actually even trigger someone by just doing that without the pictures and the videos. By like, okay, there's a person who are actually in the building and because of this problem, blah, 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 blah. By just saying that, it's the same thing.
Right.
Same thing with sharing with pictures and videos. So let's refrain. And if you're someone who are actually listening right now, good job, BSA. Let's try to educate the public. If you have a friend in social media, please stop sharing these videos. Instead, share some information where they can actually seek help. Right?
Correct. I would rather we do that. We have to be responsible with the way we use social media. It's so hard for myself. I'm a mass comm graduate, and I know this for a fact. You have to be responsible in how you use your social media platform, because everyone here who has their own Facebook, their own Instagram, or what have you, you yourself are a platform,
Yes.
big or small. So whatever you share, you have to be very responsible with it. It shouldn't be triggering, because again, not everyone has the same mindset as you. Not everyone can discern if this is just a name, if this is just something for us to laugh at, or is it something that's gonna, I don't know, ruffle some feathers. But the worst thing is if we trigger someone who's already depressed or anxious or really has mental issues. And if you post these things, I don't even see the point why you share someone who just jumped off a building. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
It's really just a waste of time sharing a very sad incident, and that's someone who lost their life. Think about it. If you post that picture or video, that person has a family, and that family is struggling over the
Correct.
fact that someone lost a relative or a family member just lost their life. That person has friends
Yeah.
who is now trying to understand or trying to realize that this person is gone and trying to understand, why did you do it? We are here.
Yes.
But you also then have to ask yourself, did I do everything to reach out to this person? What if I knew exactly what was really happening with this person, but I didn't reach out?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts to this. That's why I strongly believe, please, if you can, please don't share any of those
Yes.
videos. Please don't.
And let's try to be like sensitive, most especially to the person who died by suicide.
Yeah.
I always educate the public because they really don't understand. Remember 9/11?
Yes.
There's a two building in the
Mm.
US, New York. Then there's a plane. No,
Yes.
they
That hit the first
hit the
building.
first and the second.
Yes.
Then, but before it collapsed, I think about 30 minutes before siya collapsed
Yeah.
that building, there were people, no, sa babaw.
Mhm.
They actually what?
Oh, really?
You don't know that one? They actually jumped
I did
before
not
it
know
collapsed.
that.
Yeah. Now you know.
Okay.
I will ask you. Those people who jumped before it collapsed, do you think they wanted to die? What do you think? Some of my participants in my trainings, they will answer no.
Okay.
They don't wanted to die. That's very clear.
Okay.
It's imposible kayo, like 6 a.m. Okay, later there will be a plane, then we will all together jump.
There's
That will
there's no way of knowing that
okay.
that plane is
Correct.
gonna come, right?
But the next question is, ngano man nilayat sila? If they really don't want to die, then ngano nilayat sila?
Because jumping off is like the last resort. I think like to end most whatever issues they have, maybe. I don't know.
That's my explanation of this is, you know, because there's a fire, right? And there's too much heat coming from the fire. It's too much pain for them. And
Okay.
so, yes, we are all correct that they don't actually wanted to die.
Okay.
All they want is to remove that pain. All they want is to remove that fire. And if only we can remove that fire, then they will not jump.
In the first place, if we only knew that there was a fire to begin with, it's hard to address a problem that you yourself don't even know.
Yeah.
See, it's and that's why I said a while back, the acceptance of the fact that there is a problem in you. That's when you can start to heal. Because if you don't have that, you can't be at the mall thing. Okay, this person has a problem. You can't be. It's so hard to do that. You can't read minds. It's so hard to do.
My point, Nico, is all that people who died by suicide, all they want is to remove that pain. They
Right.
don't actually wanted to die. So if you are someone who are listening right now and you can actually help us, be a hope warrior. Try to be a volunteer and someone to, to lean on and listening to someone because we don't know. By listening to them, you can actually somehow you're able to remove that pain and, you can save a soul by doing that.
You don't actually know that 2-minute conversation could have stopped someone
Yes.
from like committing something harmful to themselves. So even that little of a conversation. So even if you remove if you remove that from your conversation, that would have really helped. Because what if that one word was your trigger? So what if you change your approach that day, like, hey, you're looking good. Oh, because maybe that person was like waiting for the trigger, but I know this person's gonna say this. But then this person changed their ways, all because maybe woke up at the right side of the bed, like, hey, you're looking good today. I like your dress. Okay, so that person's like, okay, I feel better.
Nico, by the way, saying committed suicide is not already politically correct. Or
So what is the right term? for it?
died by suicide. Because when you
Died
say
by suicide.
committed suicide, it seems like you're saying, gigusto nimo,
Got it.
right? So again, they don't actually want it to die, but because of too much pain, and sad to say, the only way to end that pain is to jump. So that's the, how do you
Got
call it? Analogy?
Yeah, that's basically like the correct, the analogy. Now, this one, which is funny because last night you posted a video on socials because we were friends on Facebook, and
Yeah.
someone sent you a message, like you said, and the wife told you to address the question.
Yep.
But this is pretty much it.
Yep.
Some of the best practices to keep a healthy mental state.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the question you answered
Yeah.
last night. Do tell them about this.
Take care of your body. You know, a healthy body is a healthy mind. So with that, get enough sleep. By the way, sleep is really important. If you really want to protect your mental health, katulong ug tarong.
Yeah, that was the content. The funny thing is, he posted it at 10 in the evening, which was really perfect. It was perfect.
Stop. How do you call that one?
Scrolling.
Doom scrolling. Doom scrolling. Okay, there are 3 ways for you to protect your mental health. Very practical, and it's free. You don't need to meet a psychologist.
Right.
Again, it's 10 p.m. So I said, 1, stop the doom scrolling. 2nd, okay, put down your phone. And 3rd, go to sleep. Actually, depression, the first question is we will always ask, do you have any sleep disturbances? Like, do you have insomnias? Like, do you have the other one, the hypersomnia?
What is hypersomnia?
Hypersomnia is you're sleeping 12 hours, 14 hours, but after when you wake up, you know,
Seems like you didn't have a long sleep.
a long sleep. So that's hypersomnia.
These are actually very important because you want to make sure that everyone has a good mental state. How about at the office? How about when you're out and about? What's a good way to just to make sure that your sanity is there, your mental state is healthy?
I think I've heard that the second one after the go to sleep, be physically active. Yeah,
okay.
go to gym. Let's say basketball,
Right.
football,
Sweat it out.
anything. Yoga. Yes. Then to that question, I think number one is for me it's the growth path. We call it growth path. Self-awareness is really important.
Yeah.
When I say self-awareness, you know the things that you're really good at, your strengths. You know the things that you are not really good at. So, the strength and weaknesses, and even the emotional awareness. You know what is your feeling right now, something like that. Because the product of self-awareness is actually self-understanding.
Okay.
All right. Let's say in work, how come I cannot meet the quota? Some people, okay, it's like a cognitive distortion. Like, okay, I cannot do it, then wala na ko, wala ko'y ayo. But in self-awareness, okay, I think I'm not good at this, but I'm also good at this. And with that, you're able to understand yourself.
So this is something I have to work on, improve until this becomes a strength, something like that.
Yes. And the product of the self-understanding is actually self-acceptance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
like
a good
that.
thing. Okay, it's like, okay, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know my value, I know I'm worth it, then there's an understanding. And the product of self-understanding is self-responsibility. It will not just end in understanding your problem, but this is my responsibility that I need to work on these things, something like that. And by the way, in self-responsibility, there's also a very good psychological variable on it, and that is adaptability.
That's good, especially in the workplace,
Yeah.
or even life in general. The way you interact with people, the way you interact with relatives, friends, and maybe opening to other people, like new people. This can be like work related. This can be like
Yes.
business related, or anything else in between. When you're able to adapt to different things. There's even a line that says like adapt
Yeah.
or die. That's the cruel way of saying it, but it's actually
Mm.
true. If you don't adapt, we die, especially
And-
for this generation.
And if you don't want to be stressed, there's only one thing: 6 feet under the ground. As long as we live,
True, there will
There are a lot,
always be
yes.
stresses.
so by adaptability, you should have the awareness of, what are the things that inside of my control and what are the things that is actually outside of my control. And by that, you can able to adapt because again, we need to work for our needs and so on and so forth.
Perfect. Now, I hope we were able to cover and hold much ground, especially in this conversation about mental health stresses and what have you. Abby, just one more question. For us here at VSA, we have a lot of virtual assistants. We deal with clients mostly in Australia, but we also have clients from other countries. These associates here, they come from different fields. Some of them are
Okay.
engineers, some of them are architects, some of them are accountants. For us here, we're from marketing. Now, for those who are still trying to find their footing in the corporate jungle, especially those like fresh graduates, those who are trying to like switch careers, what's your best advice for those Pinoys out there?
By the way, psychologists, we don't usually give advice because again, we're just here to help them to help themselves in life.
Right.
But again, one thing, try to invest on the things not just on the physical health, but also on the mental health and the emotional health by allowing yourself to undergo like knowing yourself. That's very important. And by that, you will also try to identify motivations in life. There are a lot of ways in the logotherapy or in the book of Viktor E. Frankl, one of the very known logotherapists all over the world. He said, we can find three things in motivation in life. One is work, very common because of salary. They will
Yes.
pay you a big amount of salary. Di ba, mumatag yun ka,
Of
no?
course. That's a good reason to wake up in the morning.
Alright.
Yes.
Or, di ba, in commercial, para kanino ka bumabangon? You should
Right.
answer that question. One, yeah, work. Second, love. Sometimes we do crazy things
For
because of
love.
love.
Yes.
And it's not just about romantic love. I'm not only talking about romantic love. Can you identify friends or colleagues? You know, lolas, lolos, titos, titas. They're actually living with them at
Right.
home and providing all the needs of these people. So that's love. I'm working because of love. But third, and I always advise this, we can actually find motivation or meaning in life even in suffering, but in avoidable suffering. So by saying that, we can still find meaning in suffering.
Wow. That's deep. Give me an example. Let's elaborate on that.
Let's say you were abused, physically, verbally, or even
Emotionally, yeah.
emotionally abused during, or let's call it adverse childhood experience.
Mhm.
Sometimes that traumatic experience will always stay at you. Murag, what is the reason nganong ako matugyagian? Something like that.
Mhm.
But you can actually reframe it. That's unavoidable suffering. Again, do not look for suffering because okay, we can still find meaning in suffering. Then I will look for
Then I look
suffering.
for
Hey, it's unavoidable suffering.
right.
So you can actually in psychology we call it reframing. Find meaning on that experience. Nganong imo siyang nagian. Something like that. Because the author of that book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, actually he was imprisoned in a concentration camp during the World War II.
Right. So basically what he was trying to do is like reframe the the hurt, the horrible experiences, maybe compartmentalize, put it somewhere in this brain and turn something positive out of it. There has to be a reason why I was picked for this situation. This could help me, or I could serve as a lesson for other people. Like,
For example,
Mm.
it's very personal, but
Mhm.
okay, I'll share it.
okay.
I was an orphan.
Okay.
So I really don't understand why I need to experience all those things.
Right.
For so many years, 24 years, I don't have a parent. I don't know where I came from. So I've been asking questions why I need to experience all those things. Kanang matulog ra sa street. I
You-
was a former street children before.
Wow. Okay.
So
This I do not know. Right?
I've been asking that question. Then later on, I realized, I need that experience for me to become a better psychologist.
Right.
The person who use drugs, for the people who are actually deprived of or even victims, because I was able to experience that one. But again, it was an unavoidable experience. So that is the meaning of my suffering.
Wow, that's beautiful. You've become a vessel. You've become a vessel not only for yourself but for others. And you've become a vessel for change, for like renewal, maybe for acceptance. Not everyone has had that situation. And that's I did not know about that. That's really tough. But the fact that you've been so resilient and you've worked your way up.
Yep.
And now you are privileged to be able to help other people too with their stresses and what have you.
Yeah.
You are a blessing, bro.
Thank you.
That's why I'm so blessed to have you on the podcast. I'm like thanking all the stars because I was like checking whoever was online on the weekend. I saw your post and I was like, I know there's a reason why I saw your post, because I know having you on the podcast would shed light on this matter, and hopefully by watching this podcast you'll be able to also self-reflect too.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much. Thank
Sure,
you.
sure.
Thank you, brother. Everyone, give it up for Abby Banuag, of course. Oh, before that, I think we have some tokens for our guest. Abby,
Yeah,
here's something from BSA Solutions. We have
Wow.
a tote bag and other goodies inside.
Thank
There
you, thank
you go.
you. Thank you.
There you go.
Salamat.
Yes. And this has been the Finding Mojo podcast. Of course, this podcast is powered by your friends from BSA Solutions. We are a proud recipient, that is, of the Great Place to Work Award for 2 years now. This has been Nico. Y'all take care. Off to the next episode. Peace.
Welcome to the Finding Mojo podcast. Watch and listen to conversations about humble beginnings, struggles, and victories.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm where I am right now, because I'm kind of stubborn. So like, no, I gotta do this. Like,
Character development really did start when I cosplayed. You bump into troubles when you're younger, and then you realize, oh, I did wrong.
Featuring a healthy melange of guests from different walks of life.
We're trying to find ourselves. We're trying to land our feet on the ground and be part of society. Who are we in society? How can we be useful?
When it comes to youth, I don't know, if you're like 18 years old or 21, 22 years old, just go love a person, love what you do. When you get hurt, just accept it. It's all part of growing up.
Be inspired, get creative, and find your own mojo. The Finding Mojo podcast, powered by BSA Solutions, the place where bright minds meet. A certified great place to work.